Cheers, bro.
Well, gee, good to have you, man. How
Thank
you going?
Good, really good.
I want to know about the name first.
The
Koya
name?
Dubz,
Thought
because
that was going to come up.
yeah, well, it's interesting because Brandon's got like a Japanese sort of
yeah.
name as well. I think if I remember correctly, his is from like a game back in the day, or is game a name they used to use or something?
Yeah,
That's his story. That's his story
yeah.
anyway. But where's your name come from?
Well, it originally started off as Wilderness, and there's a long backstory. It goes back because I'm originally from Emerald in Central Queensland.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Which is just down the road from where Emily O'Rourke grew up as well. Yep. So we're from the same area. And there was one night when I moved into town and I didn't really know anybody. And one of my friends had lived in town for a bit. And he's like, come round. And I got very anxious because he threw this big party. I got very anxious. So I got absolutely shit-faced drunk before I got there. Yeah. And come in like the Tassie Devil. And everyone just...
Bit of liquid courage.
People just started calling me Wilderness Jack. Like,
what from?
I have no idea. That was like,
so
I come from the wild or something like that.
Oh, okay, because you didn't live in the city, maybe. Like
I lived like 50 k's out of town from there, sort of a thing. And then when I first started DJing, my DJ name was Wilderness. Yeah, and I had that for probably 2 years, and then kind of wanted to get a little bit more serious, and I didn't think Wilderness was like a professional name to go with, sort of a thing,
or it didn't fit your style. Like, what music were you playing then?
Well, I was still playing dubstep, like 140, all that sort of stuff. But it just wasn't. I just was over it, to be honest. But I still wanted to keep it Wilderness. I've always had a big interest in Japanese culture and everything like that. So I was trying to translate Wilderness into Japanese, and their Wilderness, they look back to Koya Mountain, which is a big grave site there and everything like that.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, Koya. And I was like, I can't just be Koya. And I was like, well, I play dubstep and I'll just put dubs at the end of it, sort of a thing. So yeah, that's how that came about.
Yeah, so you're just translating your original name that you had into like Japanese and stuff.
Into Japanese, yeah.
So what sort of got you into the Japanese culture then? Because you said, you're into Japanese culture.
Yeah.
How did that start?
I just think the aesthetic of it is, I absolutely love it. I still haven't been there. I was meant to go last year, but obviously that can't happen. And then I was going to go this year, but it's still not going to happen. But I just the aesthetic. I've always been into cars, so Japanese cars.
Okay, yeah.
All the JDM lifestyle and everything like that. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, I did Japanese in school and went on a trip.
Well, I
went on a trip to Japan one time and kissed my first girl in Japan.
No, nothing crazy like that. No.
Nothing like that.
I did do Japanese in school though.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I don't remember too much. I did get it. Like I know everything if I'm watching animes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
so you're into like what some of the animes and stuff.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Any favorites or anything?
Devilman Crybaby is one of my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's still on Netflix.
I remember you were doing the live streams, during COVID, and like I was a bit when COVID started. I was a bit almost disappointed in people's creativity with the live streams. Like people were just, it was just like meh. It was like a phone and they're just DJing. It's like there's no anything else. So I liked what you did with you had like the animes running as well.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I went around and found like all my favorite animes, just all my favorite visuals really, and I just put that in there and just had me up in the little corner because you don't really just want to sit there and watch me mix because there's got to be something there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
to be able to do. So I just found all my favorite stuff. I think what's the name of it? There's an old French psychedelic film called I've forgotten about it. Yeah, and it's this psychedelic cartoon, one of the first ones ever made come out of France, and it is the wiggiest thing you'll ever see. I seriously can't remember the name for some reason. And I did one of my live streams with that playing in the background. And a few people messaged me, they were like, what is going on behind
What is that? Yeah. And that's the thing, like a lot of anime, like it's pretty visual and lots of movement and colors and stuff. So it sort of works for a music, I suppose visual or film clip for it. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. That was fun.
The first club I had a residency at in Townsville, the Consortium, on Tuesday nights, they would play like old cartoons up on the big projection on this wall. So there'd be like Roger Ramjet going on and stuff in the background, and you're like DJing and Roger Ramjet's up there and there's the planes flying along and shit. Man, it was hilarious.
I've always wanted to do it to like Astro Boy or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick as well. Yeah.
I've been thinking about doing
heaps of cool animes and cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
That's people need to do more of that, I think. That'd be cool for like, I don't know why there's not more like film clips that are cartoons.
Yeah.
I feel like, actually, I don't really know much about animation, how much it costs or how much time. I'm probably like totally wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, filming a film clip is pretty time consuming and expensive if you do it, you know, depending on the level you're doing it at. I would think that doing a cartoon or something would be a little bit.
And I always liked how the Gorillas did their film clips. Well,
there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Feel Good Inc. and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Well, there you go. People.
And I was only young when the Gorillas actually blew up, and I remember seeing that on MTV and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, wow, that is sick.
Didn't they do a hologram show one time or something? There were holograms playing?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the cartoon, characters as holograms. Yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Gorillas. Are they still making music?
Yeah, they've come back. Yeah, they've come back. They've got a song out at the moment with Schoolboy Q. Oh, cool. Actually, which is
I'm
gonna
American
have to check
rapper. That out.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, cool.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
It's like the old Gorillas are back. So
awesome. Actually, that reminds me, I'm probably going to grab a few more Gorillas tunes to play at sets and stuff. So let's talk about how you started, because like you said you were living, out in Emerald.
Yep.
So was it then when you started, or is this?
No.
How old were you, and sort of what got you into it?
Well, out in Emerald, there's absolutely nothing out there. Really.
I know.
There's nothing out there, and then I moved down here, and I moved down here with a friend of mine to the Sunshine Coast, and it really all started off with promoting. Like I've always loved music, like my drum and bass, dubstep, ever since I was a kid, and I came down here and I started promoting for a club called Turnt. If you remember that was Fortify. He's like an entrepreneur fella.
Yeah, I've heard of Turnt. I've definitely heard of
that. That was
Turnt,
back in 2013 or something like that.
Yep.
When I first moved down here, and he asked us to come and promote, and I was like, okay, no worries. Started meeting people, and it was like a trap hip hop club. And back then, I loved trap so much, and I started doing that, and then I remember the first biscuit factory that happened, and I was working for Turnt doing promo on the street. And this is the first time I met Aaron.
Yeah.
And he walked past with one of our other friends, Harry. And I went to go hand them a flyer. And Aaron goes, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want any of that. I was like, well, where are you going? He's like, oh, we're going to Biscuit Factory. And I'm like, oh, what is it? He's like, oh, Borgor's playing. And I'm like, no way. And I've been a fan of Borgor forever, you know what I mean? Like growing up, he's like ruined dubstep completely. That's what everyone says, but I still love him. And I was like, all right, that's it. Like I'm coming. Threw all the flyers in the bin and just beelined it with Harry and Aaron. Went there, and that's when everything kind of changed from there. And I started.
What year are we talking here?
2013.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
It was awesome. And then I kind of started doing more and more promotions and all that sort of stuff. And then I started working at the Helm on Sunshine Coast.
Yep. I don't know where that is.
And I've always been into music. So I was watching DJs play, and every song they play another song after it. And I'd be like, damn, I would have put this song with it. You know what I mean? Like, all that sort of stuff. I was like, and then I was like, stuff it. I'm just going to go buy some decks, and I'm just going to teach myself how to mix. I'll just make mixes for myself.
Yeah.
Because these are the songs that I want to hear in a line.
Yeah.
That's how I want it to go. So I was just doing that for a while. And then we started doing Rhythm Room and Chop Loft up at the Helm.
Yeah.
With Jake Pengelly. And one time he was like, do you want to open? And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
No worries. And like, because I'm always been into like my deep dubstep, 140, that sort of stuff. And like the old school style dubstep. I was like, well, I'm just going to play this. He's like, yeah, sweet. And I played it and everyone loved it. And I was like, well, I didn't think that many people actually like this style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because I've always also been into rhythm. I'm kind of growing out of it now, but I wanted to be a rhythm DJ. But then I was like, wow, this whole community is there's there's so many people trying to get in, it's not funny. And I was like, I'll never make it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll never make it in playing rhythm or like tear out dubstep or anything like that because there's so many people trying to do it. And at that time, Hannah Wrigley, who owned Safe Events at that time, they started doing the Midnight Request times.
Yep.
And she hit me up, was like, because I put a couple of mixes out on SoundCloud, she hit me up and she was like, you want to come and play for that? And I was like, all right, sweet, no worries. And then I was like, this 140 stuff is like really my forte. I just wanted to stick to that. Yeah. So and it's just flourished from there.
And then you just sort of built from there.
Yeah.
I think that's really important too. Like what you said there was I put a few mixes out and then they said, do you want to come play? Like people don't understand when you're starting like the power of putting mixes out, doing a mix and like and doing it regularly and showing that you've got, it's like it's not good enough to have a mix every 6 months or something. It's got to be like if you show a bit of consistency every month or 2 months. I was
doing it nonstop.
And people go, oh, this guy's like, it's not like he fluked one mix and put it up, and then 6 months later he's fluked another one. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's consistently doing it and putting it out, kind of thing.
And a friend of mine, Blade, when I first started practicing, he gave me the best advice ever. He said, when you start practicing, every time you touch your decks to go have a mix, press record.
Yep.
Because you never know when you're going to do the best mix you'll ever do and you'll want to know how you did it again.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I still do it. Every time I sit down for a mix, I'll just hit record. Doesn't matter if I want to delete it later or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or if I stuff up, just delete it. But
exactly.
I can just press record.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. Like when I started on Tractor like years ago.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to record in that. You just hit, like it's got the record button inside it.
Exactly.
There used to be a really cool feature too called Dub Record.
Yeah.
And so it would actually record all of the MIDI and all of the actions that happened in the software. So you would see the knobs move when you'd moved them and stuff. So that if you stuff something up, you could actually go to that section of the mix and then hit dub record, and then you can actually change from then on the parameters. So you can actually like fix up a mix.
Yeah.
Or like you said, if you did a really good, awesome mix or a transition or something, you're like, oh, what did I do there? Instead of just listening to it, you can actually watch what you did on the screen. You'd see all the knobs and the sliders move. So it was like really cool for that.
That's cool.
And I used to practice mixes and record them all the time.
Yeah.
I had so many mixes. Like it was just
I was going back through my old ones back in the day, and that was when I was doing heavier dubstep and all that sort of stuff. And I was going back through and I was like, wow, I actually did okay, but I've gotten a lot better now, that's for sure. Like some of those mixes I did practice a lot.
Yeah.
And I barely practice these days because I've kind of got it down pat.
It's like once you know the technique, like, once you can beat match and that, it's more about then, I think, if you really want to make your sets like amazing, it's about finding the tunes that work together and those little cool transitions you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
And finding like little chunks of like, these 4 tracks in a row, and I know I can do this into this, and I can quickly grab this track in. You figure out like little routines almost.
Yeah. And that's what I like to do. Just going between keys. You set a certain amount of songs to a key that go together really well.
Do you do that a lot, like mixing it, making sure it's all mixed?
Yeah, everything's a key. Yeah.
Because like and is that important in your genre, like of the grime and the dubstep stuff? Would you say you play grime or dubstep or what?
All
What's
of it.
You mean?
Anything UK. So grime, dubstep, drum and bass, breaks, footwork, which is like the 170 range.
Yeah.
Or 160 range, sorry. All that sort of stuff. I love it.
You mix like in key, because it's interesting to hear, like some people are always like, oh, I didn't even look at that. Like I just, it works or it doesn't, like, and it's.
And you show some people and like, I use like this. Have you seen that little wheel that you can use?
Yeah, the Camelot wheel, yeah.
And I use that, and I've shown a few people that, and they've gone and put something together, and they're like, wow, this is way better than what I was doing.
So do you use like mixed in key to analyze and figure the keys, or do you just use because I think Record Box does it as well.
Record Box does it, yeah.
Yeah. So you just use that?
Yeah, that's all I use. And if it doesn't have a key, I'll find a slot where I think it'll go really nicely.
Yeah.
And then
because you can sort of hear as well, like when you play it, you're like, oh no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Do you just do when you use this? So you're using the numbers like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. So do you just do one steps, like numbers next to each other and the letters, or do you do jumps? Because do you know that there's other jumps you can do?
Yeah, I know that there's other jumps that you can do from that wheel. Yeah, you can. I can't remember them off the top of my
There's
head.
all like advanced ones. You can go like 5 numbers up. And there's all like ones that it's like an energy, and then like a key change is like you can go 3, and there's all different like, and a lot of people think that it's just like you just got to go one next to each other or whatever.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
there's actually like you can do these.
Yeah, you can do all
cool
different types of ones.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between you'll hear people and they won't know about the keys.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the big professional, like completely trained artists, and they'll put a mix out and you're like, wow, that sounds sick.
Yeah.
And then you can do that yourself if you just plan it properly.
Yeah.
And put everything in key and everything will sound perfect.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's incredible too, because I remember seeing, this was like I think it was Armin van Helden was talking about like when he used to mix on CDs.
Yeah.
And he would have one song on one CD. And the thing is like he would have the key on it, but like back then it didn't have the key lock.
Yeah.
So when you made something faster or slower, it would change the pitch.
Yeah, to pitch bend
the key. So there used to be, I can't remember, and someone out there can probably tell us, but depending on how far you move percentage-wise, it equals like a semitone. So like they used to actually know that, all right, so this song's at 125. If I put it up 2 BPM, it's going to go up from an A major to, like a B flat major or whatever.
Exactly,
it's crazy, man, the kind of, knowledge they used to have.
Yeah, we've got it easy these days, man. We've got it very easy.
Yeah, it's crazy, some of that stuff. I can't even imagine, like, you'd have to think so much about that. I mean, I've used CDJs like CDs before, but I was never at that kind of a level.
The only time I ever used CDs and CDJs is probably at Aaron's place, because he's got...
Oh yeah, he's got some older. Yeah, he's got the older some. Decks. I remember him saying that.
But like, he doesn't label any of his CDs.
No,
none of it's labeled. So you could chuck one CD and then get another one and put it in as like jump up and dubstep, and you're like, I've got to get this one out.
CD,
constantly changing.
Yeah, that's it. Do you ever play much on any vinyl or anything? Because I know Brandon loves his.
Yeah, Brandon loves it. I've been meaning to go and
digital stuff, or even
go and have a practice, because I've never been taught. I've got vinyls at home.
Oh yeah.
I don't even have a vinyl player.
Yeah.
It's just dubstep vinyls that I've been collecting as I go along and all that sort of stuff. But I don't have a vinyl player, or even I haven't even played. I've been meaning to. I really want to, because it is a lot harder.
It's actually how like when you're DJing now, like it's kind of easy. It's like you don't really have to try too hard to beat match. It's like you just sort of do it. It's second nature. Whereas like with the vinyl stuff, it's like it's actually like a challenge, because you actually have to be constantly adjusting and because it's not just spot on the BPM. Like it's you're always going to like be drift a little bit. So
exactly.
It's interesting to play around with. Yeah. So what did you start on then? The gear. You said you bought some decks. What did you buy?
I just got some DDJ SB2s.
Okay, yeah. So
which is just like the little Pioneer decks that plug into Serato.
Yeah.
And they did me well for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have any for a while, because a friend of mine down the road, he had a full CDJ set up. And it was only around the corner. So I was going down there to make mixes and all that sort of stuff, and it was allowing me to have 3 decks and layer everything better and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it was not last year, before I went and got the XTJ RRs.
Yep.
And they're awesome. They're broken at the moment, because I took them to a party.
they're awesome when
I took them to a party and then fell asleep and didn't look after them. So someone broke them, and
that's always the worst.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like it's not too bad.
It's pissed me off a lot. But
if it's you that like if it's you and you spill a drink on it and you break them, it's like, well, that's my own fault.
That's my fault for going to bed at 9 o'clock at a party.
Yeah, that is 9 o'clock. What were you doing going to bed at 9 o'clock? Unless it was like a kick on from the day before.
No, it wasn't actually. No, it was just like a party down the Gold Coast. Yeah. Like, we're all there, and then I was just sitting there, just like listening to music. We had decks set up and everything. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah,
just like snuck away from the party and went to sleep.
And no one came and got you or anything.
Oh yeah, I was found.
They tried to.
I was found eventually.
They found you when they broke the decks. Oh, bro, something's wrong with the decks.
Yeah, that was about. Someone told me at like, I think it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
someone told me. And I was like, so tired. I was just like, I'll deal with it tomorrow.
You're like, what can I do now? I mean, if they're broken, they're broken.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get up and...
And it was like someone had spilled alcohol in the BPM fader, and it was jumping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, like someone was playing Psytrance, and it was like going and they had it on wide.
Yeah.
So it was like
just going
jumping from like, all the way to the top, all the way down to zero.
Yeah,
you know what
crazy.
I mean? Apparently it was the most fucked thing to hear.
Yeah. That'd be mental.
He kept trying to go along with it.
Yeah,
it's like, stop,
that's stupid.
Stop.
The first controller I had, I've still got it. This old Behringer one.
Yeah.
And I spilled shit on it. I dropped it one time out of my bag and it was outside for like all night, and shit. And I went and found it the next day. Like I used to take it everywhere to every gig. I spilled so much shit on it. So I used to regularly pull it apart and clean it all and stuff.
Yeah.
Pull the whole thing apart, clean it.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where some of the faders were just stuffed.
Yeah.
They wouldn't they were wrecked.
Exactly.
And so what I had to do then was map things to be different. You know what I mean? Actually go into the settings and go, all right, instead of that pitch bend being a pitch bend, it's now the fader because the fader's stuffed, and you know what I mean? Stupid stuff like that. Just using different, and then people see you mixing on it and they're like, what are you doing? And you're like,
exactly.
Oh, that's actually the fader, not the pitch. And then it just confuses the hell out of people who didn't know what you're doing.
Just so that you can still use it.
Well, yeah. And man, I think those Behringer things were $200.
Yeah.
And I used it for years, years and years. And it looked so plasticky and average.
Yeah, same as the SB2s.
And I'd take it to a club or something.
Yeah.
When I was starting and they're like, you're not plugging that in. I was like, yes, I am.
Well, that's one of the fellas who runs Algorithms, which is a small doof that they run every year. And now they're starting to do little gigs here, there and everywhere. Richie Fambro, he's an absolute legend, and he still plays sets every now and then on his little Hercules decks.
What are they?
I don't know what brand they are. They're just little Hercules, and they're
real small.
They're literally this big.
That's cool.
It plugs into a laptop.
Yeah.
And obviously, first time I saw him play was probably 2 years ago, just before Christmas at one of his parties, and we had CDJ set up and everything, and all of a sudden they got put away, and he puts up this little thing this big, and they were ancient. And I watched, this is probably one of the best sets I've ever seen played. It was old school jungle and breaks and all that sort of stuff. Just on this tiny little thing.
Yeah, you know what would be real? I just had an awesome idea. I think it's awesome to get a sponsor Store DJ or DJ City or whatever, and do a mix series where you get people who are real good in the scene, good at mixing, and then have some controller or some whack piece of equipment, and then they have to come and they don't know what it is or anything, and they've just got to do a set on it, and just work it out on the fly and record it.
Yeah,
man, that'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Just to see it, and they're like, well, what's that? What? That's the wrong thing. See how the sets go, because obviously
that's what it's at home anyways. So.
Yeah, but everyone knows that this person can mix, but to do it on this foreign equipment that's really strange or something like that, I think would be that'd be fun.
One person who'd be good for that is probably Aaron.
Yeah.
For sure.
That'd be good.
Because I've watched him jump on some ridiculous bits of gear and still play a wicked set.
Yeah, that's it.
And in States as well.
Yeah. Probably plays better in States.
He does. He does.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage of playing on that, because Aaron's played for a while as well, and CDJs and all that. When you've done all that stuff, it's just some people get on 900s now.
Yeah.
That I've only played 2000s.
Yeah.
On 2000s or better.
Yeah.
And it's there's no waveform, and they can't you know what I mean? There's no waveform. It's just that little block.
Yeah.
Wave where it just ticks along. Not the 900 Nexus, the 900s. The old ones. And people struggle because they're really used
struggle.
to seeing the waveform and that.
But honestly, if you record box your stuff properly.
Yeah.
And you set your bars right. And everything like that.
It's all quantized.
You'll never have a problem.
Yeah, if you're used to using your ears.
Yeah,
but some people they don't use their ears as much, which is why they can get into a bit of trouble.
I've with all the new gear out now these days, I've been using my headphones a lot less, and it's annoying me that I'm using my headphones less, because it's yep, there's that. All right, sweet, press play, and I will hear for the beat or snare that it's out, and I'll just quickly fix it. But I've just been it's been more visual.
Yeah.
Which is annoying me, but
just get
it's
away.
Where we're
just
going
get away
days,
from it. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, have you used the 3000s at all?
Not yet. No.
I've touched some, but I haven't used them.
Yeah, yeah. You said that on the graveyards.
Yeah, they were at La La Land. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they were they've got like so many things. Like it'll like sync the key for you. So you know how we were talking about it'll just like change the pitch for you. It's like, geez, you don't even have to worry about that anymore. You know, like we were just talking about, mixed in key and all that, and it'll just do it for you. So
things are getting too easy, man.
Yeah, I know, but I think that if people are going to use those features, they have to look at other ways to be more creative then.
Yeah, mixing faster.
Yeah, more decks maybe.
Like, more decks.
Mixing 3 tunes instead of 1.
Add more stuff in. Yeah,
maybe using effects. Like, things that are like using, live elements and things.
Looping everything. And
yeah, so, if you're going to use those features, I think you should be adding something extra that's creative to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, just use the decks, as... decks were intended originally.
And there's a lot of people out there that still don't EQ.
Yeah. Or don't know how to properly EQ.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes even people who are great DJs and then like they start doing like, double drops and stuff with 2 tracks. And
they got low ends on all the way up on both of them.
or even they've got the low, mid and high up on one.
Yeah.
And they've just got the mid and high up on one. And it's like, well, have you ever thought about the fact that you got 2 lots of highs there or something?
Exactly,
and it's like really pushing that high and it might sound okay in the booth or whatever, but when you're actually out there in the full system, the master, it actually sounds like the highs, it's unbalanced.
Yeah.
And unless you actually like listen really closely, some people don't think about that. They just think, oh no, it's just the bass that needs to be not the same, but there's way more that can, that can go on.
Well, because like in dubstep and even drum and bass, every new track that I'm bringing in, because we layer a lot of stuff, like layer and layer and layer up to 4 tracks.
Yeah.
And usually if I'm bringing a new one in, the new one coming in will be pushed back that little bit, and then it'll be like that for 16 bars with the track that was already playing is still at its full potential.
Yeah.
And then at that 16 bars, you can just fade that back and swap them over so that you can make that the more dominant track.
Dominant one, yeah.
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 And then you can even have elements, like just being able to EQ, you can change all the elements. Like you can have the elements from this one, but like the bassier version, like but bassier track on this side.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and there's not many people that are teaching that out there.
Yeah, because like it's the same with like, a lot of house stuff. It's like you can use like you can have most of the track from one song going and maybe just have like the mid percussion. So you've got like, you'll have no bass, but you'll also turn the high end down because you don't want those hi-hats in there as well. Because you've already got hi-hats.
Yeah. On the
and if
track.
you've got hi-hats and more hi-hats, it's too much hi-hats, You need to like not have so much because it can get really harsh and like not nice. And it's the same with drum and bass. Like, you guys have the similar, hi-hats and the patterns and stuff. It's obviously a little bit faster and a little bit different.
I see it happen a lot in the dubstep community where just everything's full blast.
Yeah.
And it annoys me.
Yeah, but I suppose like, a lot of dubstep stuff is like in and out real, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you switch, it's not so much about having it both playing at the same time and blending it, is it?
All the chopping and all that sort of stuff. But it's not hard to be able to drop your fader down and like EQ at the same time.
Yeah. Especially like we're saying, and everything's getting easier to do with equipment. Like it shouldn't be. Yeah, it's not hard. You're right. Well, if
it's just practice, really. It is just practice. There's a lot of people out there that don't get the practice.
Yeah.
That they need before a gig or whatnot. So.
Yeah. But then it's like some people just don't think about that either.
No,
they think, I can beat match.
It
sounds good up here.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but yeah.
Always sounds good in the booth, that's why.
Yeah. It depends on the booth though. Yeah. We've all played in some pretty terrible booths, haven't we? And
ear piercing, like can't even hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Turn the booth down and turn your headphones up just so it's better.
Yeah, or the booth's got like a
delay.
Distortion or something in it. Yeah, or a delay. Like, that's the worst. It's like, it's a booth monitor. It should not have any delay. Like, God, that's what a booth is. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. So how did, you got into the safe stuff because Hannah hit you up with the online mixes and stuff. So how long had you been sort of DJing at this stage?
Probably only 6 months.
Oh yeah, so it was pretty pretty soon.
Yeah, it was very soon. Yeah. I already had a lot of friends that were DJs as well, and they taught me a lot of stuff along the way.
And was that
it'd usually just be like kick-ons or something like that?
Yeah, and that's because you were doing the promotion stuff. You already sort of got your you're in the scene.
Yeah, and I was doing artist liaising at the helm for a little bit. So
I love that. Artist liaison is the best role.
It's so
at
fun.
Festivals, at club, anything. It's the best because you're just hanging with the artist most of the time and just looking after them.
Got to go to dinner with Alice in Wonderland. That was great.
Oh yeah. That would have been pretty good.
It was awesome. It was a dream come true.
Yeah, nice. I
was fangirling the whole time.
Yeah, that's the worst. So you got to try not to because you're they're there for the thing in the last.
All you got to do is this, but you're like, so good dinner. What do you want to drink?
No, definitely. It's always it's fun, but you got to play your cards right.
Especially with the favorite artists. Like there's other artists that you do like, and you can just chill out. But there's opportunities where you get to, liaise for your favorite artists, and you got to really hold yourself back.
Yeah, because they don't want
don't want that.
They don't want a fangirl or fanboy, to be there. They want just like a normal person, and they appreciate that far more. You know?
I was the same with Nina Las Vegas as well.
Yeah. All
Just,
the girls. Any guys that you were fanboying, or is it just the girls?
there was a few that I've held myself back for, but
It's interesting you said Borgor before because I met Borgor in 2011 when I was like, it was the first time I worked with addicts and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually wearing the shirt. It was at blah, blah, blah 2011 and I was I was just volunteering and I was basically assisting the artist liaison.
Yeah.
And I met him there. He played at the festival and then the after party at Oh Hello.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever went into the booth or the secret room in Oh Hello.
Yeah.
And it's like secret room in there, and there's like a ladder up, and there's like a one way
one way
thing.
Yeah,
you can see like the crowd.
Yeah.
And I remember he was like up there, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing, man? And he's like, oh, I'm just checking like the line. He's like, I don't want to play my set until like everyone's in, like, because if people didn't get to see me at the festival, I want to make sure they can see me here. So he was that was actually pretty cool that he was like, he actually didn't want to start playing until the people had like got in that were there to see him, because he's like, if people didn't see me at the festival and they wanted to see me here, he didn't want to like start and not give them the opportunity. So I thought that was pretty cool, man, that he was sort of
he's a legend.
It's that was an interesting festival, but there was all kinds of LTJ Bookham was there.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, there was heaps because the blah 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 used to be like breakbeat, drum and bass, a little bit of like the trap and dubstep as the years went on, and they sort of came into it. So that was those and it was the same thing when I eventually became the artist liaison for it.
Yeah,
I was artist liaison for like all these artists, and I was like, I love their music. You know what I mean? Same kind of thing. But that taught me straight away really quick that
you gotta like,
if you can actually, but I ended up becoming friends with those people, and like, I could message them and I could send them tracks, and like they would send me tracks, and it was because I wasn't the fanboy. I was like a normal person.
You keep it cool, and then you can
and you just treat them like a normal person.
Get their trust, sort of a thing.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, cool. I actually like hanging out with that person because they're not fanboying or fangirling over me, like, and it makes it like cool. I remember I think Dom from Stanton Warriors. We were both at one of our mates' places, and he was like, "Do you want to have a mix?" Like, because we was just me and him there, and I was like. Yeah, I was like, of course, I'd love to have a mix with one of the Stanton Warriors, but it was set up like through the sound card of the studio we're in. And so we didn't know. So I'm sitting there, but we're both sitting there trying to figure out, like, it's plugged in, and this is going to the but we couldn't figure out how to get the sound on, and it's like, that was pretty. I was pretty disappointed we didn't get to have a mix then because we just couldn't figure it out. And then when my mate come in and goes, "Oh, you just got to open a channel on Ableton. You just press like space bar." And like, we've been here for like, we were there for like an hour trying to figure it out, and we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've been in that situation a few times, so I've just got to keep it cool.
Yeah,
and just be chill.
Be chill. Don't
stress them out.
At so then the safe stuff, you were doing the safe. You said,
yep.
How was that when you started? Like, what you were on an open set probably.
Yeah, it's just an open set sort of a thing. Just played all my favorite deeper style dubstep and kind of reggae-ish stuff.
Yeah.
And grime, like old grime and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had a few friends come to that, and then just kept snowballing from there.
Yeah.
So
and then so how long was it? Because when you sort of like stood up a bit, and when Hannah sort of left to Melbourne, you guys are sort of
myself and Sam,
you and Sam are taking the reins over a bit. So like, how did you sort of work your way into getting to that position? Because you obviously came in and started as just opening DJ, and then now you're one of the guys running it. So it's interesting for people to hear how you get to those sort of positions, I think, from the start.
I'd always been promoted for Biscuit Factory, and then Hannah wanted, because Hannah was part of that, and then she wanted to start doing the deeper style stuff and like all the actual left field proper like weirder stuff that people don't really listen to, but there is like there is somewhere for it.
Yeah.
And when I came in to do that, we started becoming more and more better friends, and then I got to meet Sam. I've always watched Sam DJ at Biscuit Factory and all that sort of stuff, and he's honestly one of the best DJs in Brisbane. And we just all stuck together as like a little family. Sort of a thing.
You guys are all real tight, eh?
Yeah. And we're just all, everyone who played, we're just all mates, really. Yeah. Every safe gig was just like
group of mates.
Yeah, just a group of mates, really. Just supporting all our favorite artists, really.
Yeah, that's it.
And when Hannah announced that she was moving to Melbourne, she messaged me and Sam and was like, "You two are probably the only people that I trust, and I really want you guys to take over safe and get it going." And we were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it!" Like let's do this shit. So now we're
So, but had you done any other roles for any of the events? Had you done, or you sort of all as a team sort of shared the roles? It sounds like.
It was mainly, before Hannah left, it was mainly just Hannah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorting everything out.
Yeah.
And I'd done a little bit of, gig work with the helm and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So
and then the promo
I had
stuff,
an idea. And so Sam's been around for a long time. So he knows what he's doing. So so we just dived in deep with that.
Yeah.
But we only got to do one gig before coronavirus hit.
COVID, yeah. So you guys got some more stuff that you want to do, or you're planning to do?
Yeah. So we're just scoping out a few venues at the moment, and then we'll be kicking safe off again. So we want to do like a boiler room style.
Yeah, nice.
In the city somewhere.
Something real intimate where you could really spread that virus.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I know what you mean.
Really intimate.
Yeah. No, but I know what you mean. Like something a bit like not. You're not looking to it for a big, massive venue. You want something a bit nice and tight where you can have a good crew and everyone sort of have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. We found this little place in the city. I'm not going to name it yet.
Yeah.
Because we're still kind of working it out.
Yeah.
But it's like $250 cap and BYO. So
yeah, nice.
Pretty keen.
Good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's it. I think it's pretty cool that you talked about like starting as a promoter and stuff because and people who want to maybe run events and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I always say to them, have you ever been a promoter? And they're usually like, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you have to know how promotion works.
Yeah,
because like, that's how you get people to come to the show. Like,
you got to know your peak times, when to post.
You need to know all that stuff. And the only real way to figure that out is to like, do it.
Yeah.
Like there is definitely like strategy,
there's a lot of strategies
times and things, but like, you gotta learn that stuff so that you know how it. And even if you're the event person running it, you need to know that person's doing a good job promoting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they're just promoting, you're like, I don't know, and then no one turns up on the day, and you're like, well, you didn't tell your promoters to do the right thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things like an artist will come and people will be like, we didn't even know he came. It's like because of the person who was promoting the gig, they didn't really know how to promote properly. And they weren't getting it out enough. It was like a little bit like laziness, really, or not really knowing what to do.
Because sometimes people think that, it's a big artist, they'll pull the crowd. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't always work like that, know? And especially if people don't know that the artist is there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff when I first came down and started doing promoting, like what to do, when to post, this, that, how to word, you know, use emojis.
Yeah. Follow up with people. Like, you know what I mean? You got to follow up with people.
Yeah.
You got to be, you know.
Keep it in their heads because there's so much going on in everyone's lives that they're always going to forget that there's a gig on.
Yeah.
Unless it's their
and
favorite
then it's
artist.
Last minute.
Unless it's their favorite artist, then it's last minute sort of a thing. So,
and the amount of stress that puts on, like, you know, the people running events when there's no ticket sales and and everyone's like, oh no, I'll just get one on the door. It's like, you don't understand how much stress this is putting on me. Like, because what if it rains? And then heaps of people go, oh, I'm not going to go just because it's raining.
It's because it's raining.
And then it's like, and then so you've just lost like $5 or $6 grand.
Yeah.
You know, people don't think about that stuff.
And I think it's changed a lot since COVID because a lot of stuff is online sales only now. Yeah. So it's a little bit more stability in knowing what's going on the night.
Which is good. I suppose because, like, you know, you don't want those massive lines, you know, at your events, but really. Yeah. And that's going to happen anyway with the way it all is now. But you know, if you can speed it up by having tickets and not having to do cash sales and all that kind of stuff at the door, it's a win-win for everyone, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like Sub Roaster and all that sort of stuff. Just cruising with your ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my favourite club for sure.
Yeah, I was there last night actually. Yeah. So what was the event the safe event you did that before COVID? Where was that at?
That was at Sub Roaster?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was we did kind of a Earth Frequency warm-up party for all the broken beats sort of stuff.
Yep, nice.
Which we kind of stuffed up because it was the same day as Laneway and a few other things. And it was, there wasn't that many people there, then we're going to bounce back and we're going to, you know, just pick our dates a little bit better and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then it was literally straight after that COVID hit and we're like, damn.
Yeah, that's it. That COVID bug.
But we're looking into doing a lot of stuff now. And like end of last year, we've kind of teamed up with No One Network.
Okay.
And
I've heard that name, but
Sam's doing that's ran by Kyle. It's like a rap agency.
Okay, yeah.
With like Nerve and Ozai and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But we did a gig with them end of last year, and Sam was their main DJ for the night, playing all their tracks for them and all that sort of stuff. And I think he played for like 2.5 straight hours playing all their tracks for him and all that sort of stuff. And then he had to play his own set afterwards. Yeah. And then I played after that. But that was fun. And it's looking like we're going to be doing a lot more of them.
Yeah,
so.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always good when you can collab with, you know, some other brands or people or whatever. Like more eyeballs and share the workload.
Yeah.
That's always a big thing as well.
Exactly. So. For sure.
All right, let's have a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll keep going.
As. No worries. Let's do it.
Yeah, and we're back.
We're back.
Little break there, but we're back and I figured, you know, it'd be a good chance to maybe talk a little bit about some of the, you know, Doofs and stuff. I see you've been playing a heap of them, and the safe crew seems to be doing a few Doofs and stuff. Is there good support for that kind of music in the Doof scene?
There's really good support.
Yeah.
Everyone loves like the deeper 140 or like the more Wookiee, weirder dubstep sort of stuff.
Wookiee,
all the Wook stuff, like Americanized sort of stuff, and people like. I love my UK stuff, but I really get into the US style, the deeper style, 140 and all that sort of stuff. So that's been going off. I think the first one, what really kicked it off was Eamon Nomia.
Love that dude.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
That. Shout out Eamon if you're out there.
Yeah, shout out Eamon. Love you. There was a little Renegade set up at Rabbits Eat Lettuce one year. And I remember I hadn't seen them for a while, and I remember walking past this little camp. It's called Paprika Camp. I heard dubstep banging out of it, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I'm hearing dubstep. Like, this is strange. Like, I didn't know there was any more of that here this weekend. So I walked in, I see Eamon, he's just going ham, and I'm like, hell yes. And he looks at me, he's like, get your USBs. Like, it's open decks. I'm like, okay, sweet. Like, no worries. And I sprinted up to my car, always got my USBs on me.
Yeah.
Grabbed them and ran down, and like we went hard for probably like an hour and a half.
That's interesting because the Camp Paprika guys are generally more sort of the techie, like techno,
exactly.
like house sort of vibes, and then so to walk past their camp, the Camp Paprika site, and then hear that just would be like whoa, what's going on here? Like actually like a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, which is it was around the same time that I'd seen Andre Copycat, and he was like, I'm looking for a place to like just test a couple of my tunes out for tonight. And I was like, oh, come down. Like this is afterwards. I was like, come down to Paprika Camp. Like
just taking it over.
Just like play some tunes on there. I can ask him. And I went down there and asked the dude, and he was like, yeah, sweet, no worries. And then one of the other fellas come running up. He's like, you broke our sub. And I was like, what, really? He's like, yeah, he's turned it up. And I was like, mate, I wouldn't even know how to do that. Like, we don't know how to do that. We were just playing music. Like we went there, some dude jumped off, we jumped on, we played music, we didn't turn it up, didn't redline anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to pay for it. And I'm like, come on, man, you can't expect me to pay for this when I didn't do anything and you've got open decks at a doof.
Yeah, yeah, like that's on you, bro. That's on
you.
Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are right now?
Yeah, I felt like a bit of a dick, but like at the same time, I know I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, and then after that, like Eamon really helped me out getting into the Doof scene in the first place because he was already kind of established there playing the smaller ones, and then he got me on a couple of bills like Happiness Hill, and that, and we played like a really cool back-to-back set at Happiness Hill, which is out at Gymna. And then after that, I got onto a couple of like other Renegade camps like at Rabbits and stuff like that, and playing in Love Camp and all that sort of stuff. And then Hannah started, because Hannah's been in the industry for a long time, and she plays on the main stage of Doofs and all that sort of stuff, and she started doing the safe takeovers on the stages, and we were able to go and play we played at Love Camp at Elements 2 years ago. We were able to do like a big safe takeover there, and we had Tristan from Truth. He was playing for the weekend. Like we're good friends with him, and he came in and played, and it was like a surprise back-to-back set with him. And then she set up a proper safe takeover at Earth Frequency last year. And that was awesome. Like, we got to go on like one of like the second main stage sort of thing. It was called, I can't remember, Earthboard, Baseboard, can't remember. And that was when I was like, this is sick. Because I played heaps of small underground illegal raves. And like people love that sort of stuff there. I've had, people come up to me like, wow, I didn't know dubstep could have actually been cool. And I was like, well, this isn't like your screechy, like, like in your face shit. This is like the stuff that's,
based more off the old dubstep. Like the original
the real stuff.
The dub step.
Not bro step. So we started doing that, and then Trent from Elements hit myself and Eamon up and asked us to open up the Sonic Sorcery stage last year at Elements.
Cool.
And that was sick. Like that system is awesome. Like that is so much fun. It's just, and like we've sort of gotten like a little following as myself and Eamon like doing like Doofs and that. Like it's always Koya Dubz versus Nomia. And we go together like really well. Like
you guys put that mix up recently.
We did.
I've seen I saw you put the mix up, and there's a photo of both. Or
we got it on YouTube.
Or video,
videoed the whole thing. Right? We got two different camera angles. I set my cam up to face the crowd, and then his really good camera was on us. And just before we played, it absolutely pissed down rain.
Oh yeah,
it was like everything was flooding and everything like that. Not many people were there at the start, but it was good to see on the video. It went from absolutely dead. I don't know who was playing before us, and it was just dead. Like, there was a couple of people there. That was it. But by the end, like, we had heaps of people there, and it was just a good feeling.
Just you pulled them.
Play all your favorite stuff, and all these people have like drawn in for it, and it was fun. It was really good. But at the start, it absolutely bucketed down rain. And like I've got for the bigger doofs and stuff, I've got Eamon, and we always do like back-to-back sets. And then like all the smaller stuff like Amalgorithms and a few other small ones, I've got Scott Green, which is Aradale. And he's the most craziest mixer ever. Like he's always got 4 tracks going at once. Like he'll do an hour set and he'll play 110 tracks in the 1 hour.
but do it well.
And do it well, you know what I mean?
Because I've seen people play that many tracks in an hour.
Yeah.
But it sounded terrible.
Yeah, exactly. He does it really well.
Yeah.
He's got everything in key. Like, he's been mixing for a while and he's got his head switched on. He's taught me lots of stuff about EQing and everything like that. Shout out Scotty. And yeah, like when him and I go, it's all like the deep, dark and dangerous style sort of that we're going for. And it's just so much fun because, and especially at the smaller Doofs, there's a lot of people that do like the dubstep and all that sort of shit. So. But I have been branching out of dubstep lately. So,
what have you been?
We're going into breaks and and footwork.
Bring breaks back.
Yes,
I've been saying it for 10 years.
Yeah, I played Rum Jungle 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weekends ago. And
the breaks these days are a bit different to the old breaks.
Yeah.
The old breaks used to be you either had it was almost like a live sounding breakbeat sound, or you had like the booty breaks, which is, very trappy, but at 128, 125 kind of range.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it sort of, I've been getting the breaks into like the sort of the 170 range, kind of jungle-y sort of stuff. And playing like footwork jungle and juke and all that sort of stuff, which is like 160 BPM. And it's got the breaks in there and it's just so fun.
Yeah. There's something different about those genres where the kicks, hitting and the break bit, the broken beat.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
don't listen to it as much as I used to, but like I still, whenever I hear it, I'm just like,
it's funny because I never, like, whenever I play with Eamon, I never really get to play breaks or anything like that because he absolutely hates breaks.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because every time we'll be at a gig and someone starts playing breaks, he'll be like, under his breath, he's like, I hate breaks. And I'll always hear it. Just shut up. You love them, okay?
Yeah,
you love breaks.
Love them now.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be standing here. He's like, no, I can't do it. I was like, come on, man. Come on, you listen to drum and bass. You gotta love breaks.
I'm gonna just give him shit about that. When I see him
I'll always give him shit.
I'll be like, bro, you gotta check the song out. And it'll be like a breakbeat song. It'll be like, oh, it's like, yeah, man, that's a cool song.
And it's like every time he says it, I'm always around and he doesn't know, and I always just say, shut up.
That's.
But like, he hasn't. I don't think he'd like heard it properly on like good systems and stuff. And at Amalga's, I've always talked up because these guys have built this Hex sound system all by hand, and they've engineered it. And it's not that big of a rig, but it's probably the best rig I've heard in Australia.
Okay.
Like it pumps out so much power, so much top end, super crisp. You can hear every range of.
That's the difference. That's the difference between a good system and and it sounds clear and it doesn't have to be really loud for you to hear all the things. Whereas some systems you got to fucking crank them so that you can like hear that sound.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember this is on New Year's. I talked it up all year to Eamon and Sam about how good this sound system was, and they've both been to like Shambhala, overseas gigs, everywhere.
Big stuff.
And they're like, we don't know, man. Like, we've heard some good stuff. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I've never been overseas to those gigs, but this thing is sick.
Yeah.
And I remember taking Eamon there and he was absolutely hammered and he comes up to me, he's like, this is fucking awesome. And there was breaks playing at the time.
Yeah.
Just like literally there was breaks and they were playing like old school 4/4 techno and all that sort of stuff, which was sick to hear on like a good system.
Yeah.
Like I do love it and I don't always listen to it, but when there's like some really good banging techno on a good system, you got to get into it. Like especially the old school stuff. The stuff that gets in your head, that sort of techno.
Yeah, that's it. And you need a good system because like techno is very low at like you need that low end.
Yeah.
Sound.
Exactly.
Which if you don't have that, and you only get that on good systems.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, like there's not many shitty systems that have a really good low end.
For sure. Yeah, so
So doing the festivals and stuff, the safe stuff. So I know you and a few of the other guys have got a bit of a studio out at where Emmett and that is out the Dimes boys.
Yeah.
We were trying to think of the name of the whole.
I can't remember.
Six? Is it got? I was in a room on Clubhouse.
6 degrees.
Yes, 6 degrees.
That's it.
I was in a room.
I always forget it for some reason.
I was in a room with Emmett the other day on Clubhouse, the new chatting app, and he mentioned the name of it, and that's why I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, I know this as well because he said it just the other day. I heard him. So who's who's got like who's in on that studio space? Like it's the safe guys, but who
so we all jumped in at the start of coronavirus because there really wasn't anywhere for us to properly hang out and all that sort of stuff. So there's myself, Sam Cooper, Brandon Robinson, Ryan Burgess, not related, but it's Sam's best mate. He's an absolute legend, and he's just started DJing as well. Yeah. And Kane Tarrant, so ESP. He's starting to blow up a little bit as well in the 140 dubstep range. He's getting his stuff played on UK radio and this and that. So he makes really, really good like 140 and all that sort of stuff. Cool. So it's just us boys in there. Yeah, nice. But I haven't been there for a while. I've been too busy.
Yeah, you just said that. Yeah,
all the other boys go all the time. They're there all the time. Like, who's there at the studio? And someone's
you
always
said you might be going there, the Savi.
Yeah, I might pop in the Sav. Yeah. See who's there.
And so what do you guys got in set up there? Is it so it's like set up for a recording studio, like production or
both, it's set up for production. So we've got Sam's CDJs there. He's got 3 CDJs with his he's just got rocket 8-inch rockets there. Yep. That's just for mixing wise and stuff like that because they're rockets.
DJing,
they're rockets and you don't really get too much good sound out of them. And then Kane's brought in his Atom 7s.
Yeah, nice. 7s are good too. Like we've got the 8s, but like in a smaller room, they're too big sometimes. Like, so the 7s are, I reckon 7s
are really awesome. And Aaron had built like a full computer there, but I think he's taking it home. So the boys just take their laptop in. Yeah. But boys have brought in various different MIDI controllers and all that sort of stuff.
I think Aaron was buying some analog shit back then.
Yeah, Aaron went and bought heaps of stuff. Yeah. Like,
I remember when he was buying. He
spent like $5,000 on a computer. Yeah. And like we went in one night and he was with we were with Batchy, Bachelor, and we just sat there and Aaron was like making him build it because obviously Aaron doesn't know how to do that. Batchy just sat there like
Batchy would have loved that though.
I think it took
he
him
would have been geeking out. He loves that
he
shit.
Was. Yeah, he was. He was just spending hours and like it didn't help that he was trying to do it while we were blasting drum and bass the entire time.
Yeah, and like, probably drinking beer.
Yeah,
everyone
we
was probably loose. Like he was probably on the red wine.
And we were just like pumping drum and bass. There was a few of us there. The poor old Batchy's just in the corner. He's just like trying to build his computer.
Everyone's partying. Imagine being at a party trying to build a computer, basically. Essentially what was happening,
Yeah, so we got like, we're able to get like little bar fridge in there and that sort of stuff. And it was all fully treated before we walked in. Yeah. So it's got all like treatment all the way around, like 4 walls treated.
Yeah. And there's heaps of rooms in that space. In that complex that the guys did. Hey,
there's so much room there. It's not funny. Like they've got all down the whole right-hand side. I think there's 4 or 5 like small studios down along that side. Yeah. And they've got the other side where they've got like the full mixing and mastering room with the drop down sound booth, this and that. They got like a couple of like kind of film clip rooms, like prop rooms sort of thing where you go in there and do filming. They constantly repainting it, different colors and this and that. Yeah. We got like big conference area and in the center is like this big wide open space where they do throw parties all the time. I think there was talks they want to put like a basketball court in there or something like that. Yeah, I'm fairly sure. It's just wild. Yeah. So they're still building it. There's a lot of work going into it though.
Yeah. So man. We put a lot of work into here, and it's only one space.
Yeah.
They're building multiple spaces and rooms. And
and it's good that pretty much. I'm fairly sure pretty much every room's still booked out, like for everyone. So they'll be making them a bit of money so that they can still keep building.
Yeah, you need to have that income there.
Yeah. I think I'm due for a trip.
Yeah, get out there and do some stuff.
So we're gonna pull out couch there as well. So just crash there.
Yeah, that's always.
And
good
the boys
too.
Always do.
Like, Well, you'll have to come and come down and crash there a few times.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can use it. What about production? You done a little bit of production? Or
a little bit. I've only released a couple of tracks. Yeah. I'm really trying to work on a sound that is me. Yep. I put like a couple out, like did like a little war dub thing with Brandon and Aaron and that. And
yeah.
Before that, I put my own track out that I made. I'm trying to find the time to do it is the hardest part.
Yeah. Because it takes time, to even just learning and like to get better.
Yeah. And then, so I did a bit of a hiatus from it during the coronavirus. I was just working flat out. I was so busy, it wasn't funny. Yeah. And then end of last year, I was like, all right, I need to sit down. So I've been working on a bit of drum and bass because I found it's been making rollers is so fun. Yeah. Just like obnoxious shit sort of a thing. So I've just been doing that a little bit, working on it, trying to get everything right. I've had heaps of advice from like Sam Williams and Jake Bowman and all that sort of stuff because those guys are absolute wizards.
Yeah.
Like anytime I make something and I'm like, there's something wrong, I can send it to those boys and they're like, all right, so this is what you need to do. And I just got this paragraph out of nowhere and it's like, this is what I need. Because like you'll send tracks to people and they're like, yeah, man, this sounds sick. And you're like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Some people do want that though. You know what I mean? Some people do that. And then I find some people, they'll send you the track and you'll be like, oh, I think you need to do this and this. Oh, well, I've just like, they sort of like go, oh, it's not mixed, it's not mastered. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's what you need to do. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I say.
Some people just want you to say, "Oh, sick track, man."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I don't.
A few people say that, and it's like, I don't really want that. I want you to tell me what you think I need to do with this. Like, obviously, I should know, but like, I've been listening to one snare for about 3 hours. So.
Yeah, I can't even tell if it's good anymore. I've listened to it so many times, I don't know if it's good or not. I can't tell.
And I'm so bad with that. Every day, like, I'll get halfway through a track, and I'll just be like, fuck, I've heard that so many times. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'll just start something else.
And
I'm so bad with it. Like, I've got so many project files. It's not funny. Like, Brandon sent me a couple of like stems and stuff to do a collab. I haven't even touched them. Like, oh man. And there's like a couple of boys in the UK, they want to do like a collab and stuff. And I've just been too lazy.
Yeah. It's just all time, man. And
yeah, exactly.
Especially like you said, you live pretty far from where your studio is.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you write at home? Like if you got anything?
Yeah. I've got my own little studio set up at home. Like I've got my laptop and I've got 2 5-inch Yamahas with the 8-inch Yamaha sub. So it's all set up real well with the sub pack, good headphones. So I really don't have any excuse. It's just that because I work because I live in the Sunshine Coast and work in Bowen Hills every day.
Yeah.
By the time I finish work, it's about 3 hours a day.
What's that? What's with that setup? Like that seems. You don't have any interest in moving to Brisbane?
No. I love living on the Sunshine Coast. The beach is at the end of my street and all that sort of stuff. Not that I go down there often, but I do go down there.
It's nice to know that you can.
Yeah, some
isn't it? Like it's nice to know if you wanted
to,
you could just walk down the street and go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can see the ocean from my driveway. It's great.
Yeah. So
and it's a beautiful beach too.
You need to find a job in Sunny Coast then, so you don't have to travel.
Well,
so far.
our work is because I work in construction and all that sort of stuff. We're based on the Sunshine Coast, but we're doing massive jobs and all that sort of stuff. And I'm working on the Cross River Rail project at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll be there for a while.
So so the company's actually like Sunshine Coast based. Because they've got this big contract or something.
Yeah. And it's like that everywhere. Like I'm glad I've got the sub pack and I've got good headphones because I do a lot of away work. Yeah. Like most of last year I was in Rockhampton.
Yeah, okay.
And all that sort of stuff. And I was able to take my stuff away with me and just still have a sub pack and good headphones. And that's all you really need.
Yeah. What headphones you got?
I got the Sennheiser HD 300 Pros.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And they're really good.
Yeah, especially with the sub pack as well.
In the sub pack,
so many people recommend, like for writing and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think Klaus, Klaus Healy does like mixing and mastering stuff for a lot of Aussie, big artists around the world. He said that he's got an awesome studio set up for his mixing and mastering, but he said he actually just mixes with he's got like the Audi's LCD, the almost $2,000 ones. I think Jake has some as well.
Yeah, Jake's got all the best shit.
Yeah, he uses them with a sub pack, and that's how he mixes.
Yeah.
And then once he's done, he then just puts it on the monitors and to just check as a sort of a check thing, and then to make sure the stereo imaging's all good and
because you can like with the sub pack you can feel like the full range inside that sub pack. Like you could I've got good studio monitors, it's all set up, and I could have been making like a mid-range bass or like a sub for fucking ages, and I'm just sick of it, and like I can't hear it properly anymore, sort of a thing, because I've been listening so much.
Yeah.
And then I'll just just turn the sub pack up that little bit, and just try and feel if it's going to be, get that range in there and all that sort of stuff. So the sub pack's handy. I use it a lot for gaming as well.
Yeah.
Like playing, because I play a lot of racing games like Forza and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just having that, you can feel the car
feels
vibrates,
like everything,
and like I use the good headphones for that as well, and it's just like
just ultimate.
Yeah. So I do that. I've used the sub pack even like in my work queue. It's got like no subs, and I figured out, because it's got Bluetooth, I figured out that I can just like set everything up, and I just strap it to the back of my chair, like in the car.
That's sick.
And it just works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's no delay in it too. It's like so surprising.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I've like had the sub pack while I'm like doing long drives and that sort of stuff.
That's nice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
I definitely want to get a sub pack. I almost bought one a few years ago. I think what happened, it was funny because like I bought one, but then like something happened with the payment or whatever, and it didn't go through, and they're like, oh, it bounced back, or something happened, like a bill came out before that. It was like an e-check, or remember, how there's like the e-checks and it takes a few days, and something else came out, and then so it didn't work and it bounced. And then I was like, I won't worry. And then I just didn't get it. So
I was pretty hammered, but Jake was telling me all about the new sub packs that they brought out now.
There's new ones,
And he was telling me all like how everything goes into it. And they've got a whole new Bluetooth system in there, and like just everything about it. But we were both pretty hammered. It was after we both played at Elements last year. So we were standing backstage, just
as
like,
it always is,
cross-eyed, just talking shit.
Some of the best times.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Have you had any? What other festivals have you played at? Like you mentioned a few of them there, like, or not festivals, sorry, like Doofs or underground sort of parties. Anything? You any highlights? I know you said Elements.
Yeah, Elements has always been a highlight.
Yeah,
that's always been the funnest place to play.
Yeah,
like, they focus so much on production there.
Yeah,
and the stages is just
insane stages. Some of them.
Yeah. And like that Sonic Sorcerer one last year was just that night. Just the way they set all the sails up and everything like that, it was just so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So
that's it. That's the cool thing about Doofs and stuff, is all that art.
Yeah.
Sort of almost like art installations kind of thing.
Yeah, all the installations.
That stuff's pretty cool. Yeah.
But I do have a lot of fun at the underground ones.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's anything goes there.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of dodgy stuff that happens. At them. Like there's some bad shit that happens, but you just keep an eye out.
I mean that's everywhere really in all corners of things, isn't it?
Yeah. You do see a lot of shit.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's an experience.
It sure is, man.
You haven't lived till.
Yeah. But
no,
just going to the spots that they choose and all that sort of stuff is wicked as well. They've always got a good spot.
It's cool that it's out in nature too. Like that's something.
There's always something to do
out in the middle of nowhere a bit. Like I think you were talking about Copycat, and he was going hiking and stuff.
Yeah, he was going up hiking
up the mountains and stuff. And it's like, we're at a Doof. Yeah, man, I just thought I'd go for a little bit of a hike up the mountains, check it out a bit. Like, all right, cool, that's sick.
It's so funny. I didn't see him. Like, I camped with him. I barely saw him all weekend.
Yeah.
I barely saw him, man. Yeah. When I did see him, it was like, where have you been? He's like, I've just been up there.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in the tree.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I love that dude. He's got to come on soon, so we've got to hook that up.
I haven't seen him for a long time, actually. It's been a while.
Yeah. So what do we got coming up? Like you said, you want to do the safe stuff, like an intimate, a smaller intimate show.
Yep.
Are you thinking that you're going to do, like how far off are you sort of thinking that will be? Are we talking?
Hopefully a couple of months.
Yeah.
Hopefully a couple of months.
Before mid-year, like in the first half of the year kind of thing.
Yeah. So we'll be bringing our own sound system. Well, it's not.
Oh, nice.
One of our other friends, Corey, goes by the name of Blotters. He's just built his own void system.
Sick.
And it's so nice.
Yeah, that sounds.
It's all like stained timber boxes and all that sort of stuff. And it's just I think he's still building it. So we're kind of waiting because he really wants to bring it down, and we'll do a safe gig with that.
Yeah,
we're gonna do like a boiler room setup.
Yeah,
so like people can be all the way around. And
that'll be real sick.
All intimate and have some fun. So
yeah, for sure. And how are you thinking of doing a couple of things this year with Safe? Like, we're just gonna do the one and see how we go.
No,
what we can do, or you're gonna sort of like plan a bit of it.
we're hoping to get right into it again.
Yeah, yeah. Because the second half of the year really start pumping them out.
We're doing it like once a month sort of a thing, but it's hard when you can't get international artists.
Yeah.
And there's not that many of us that play this sort of stuff. So people don't always want to
just be the safe crew playing every week.
Yeah.
Or every, event.
Yeah. So
you just got
which we all do. We've all play other events.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, so
is there many like good artists in Australia in these genres that you could get, domestic sort of guys, or it's not?
Yeah, there's a few, like there's a few around, and like because we do have New Zealand travel bubble, we got
New Zealand probably.
Alex Perez has just moved there.
Yeah.
So we can get him over here, and like another dude, Headland, wicked dubstep, and those two will always pull the biggest crowds because it's Alex Perez.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to try and lock in a decent venue so that we can do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously our local gigs, we just do something small, but if we're looking into something bigger, we'll obviously go somewhere else.
Yeah.
If we do, maybe look into Alex Perez or something like that, we're going to have to go somewhere decent because that last time we had Alex Perez was just next level.
Yeah.
We had it out the back of Prohibition.
Yeah.
And it was packed.
That's a nice little
absolutely
area
packed. And we had I'm fairly sure we had Andre play as well. Copycat.
Yeah.
Fairly sure he played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
so.
Yeah, nice. What about any you want to get some more production stuff out? You said you've been a bit lazy.
Yeah, I've been very lazy, man.
So you got any plans to maybe try and get a few things sorted this year?
This year, definitely.
I mean, we all say
I need to knuckle down.
We always say that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's always like, I want to write more. I want to put more tunes out. And then it's like, I don't want to get in the studio.
Yeah.
Like you got other stuff you're going to do.
I just need to stop being lazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because by the time I get home, I just want to go to bed.
Just do 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Lots of the time last year, like I couldn't really find my knack of making flow or anything like that. So what I was doing is just every day jumping on and just doing sound design.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Just jumping
that's
on.
Still good. That's still handy.
And just doing making little bits and pieces and just banking them up and just trying to make sounds.
Yeah.
Because that always helps. Because you might come across, you might accidentally make something and like, fuck yes.
Yeah, that's sick.
I know exactly what to do with this. Yeah, and you'll be able to make a whole track.
That'll work in this.
Yeah. So that's always handy to do.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I've got a couple of gigs coming up. So
yeah, what are you playing at?
Playing my first Havoc, which is I got 2 gigs on the same day because I stupidly double booked myself.
Because you're so popular.
Completely different times, which is so lucky.
Yeah, that's
but
lucky,
one's in. So I got Havoc. That's my first debut set for Havoc for Hayden. So got that. I'm gonna do sort of deeper rhythmy sort of stuff, probably like old school dubstep and grime.
Yeah.
And then got what's it called? There's a little venue up in Nambour called the Black Box Nambour.
Okay.
And the Amalgorithms boys have been throwing little gigs there, which is it's like the coolest little venue in Nambour, which you wouldn't ever think that anything's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this venue, they used to throw all heavy metal shows back in the day and all that sort of stuff. Apparently, before Helm or any other venue was there, that place was the place to go.
Yeah, okay.
So the aircon's hell good too. So
the aircon's
I'm gonna go there and do some.
It's always a bonus when there's good aircon.
Good aircon, yeah, because they threw one last year and it was so good. I walked inside, I was like, this is what everywhere should be like.
Yeah.
But I do miss TBC, so
that's it. Yeah, the old TBC, rest in peace. Yeah. So where can we find you online then? How do we spell Koya Dubz and how do we on all the platforms and stuff? What's the best place to go?
So Facebook would just be Koya Dubz, so KoyaDubz.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram, I am KoyaDubz.140.
Yeah.
So 140. And then just SoundCloud as well.
Does that mean there was another Koya Dubz already?
No, it's just what I want to do.
Okay,
140.
Yeah, I know the 140, but I thought, maybe there was already someone else had that name. I was like, that'd be strange.
.139.
Yeah, you couldn't get 140. You had to get 139. Yeah, that'd be crazy. What about all the safe stuff? How do we find safe events?
Safe events, we do have a SoundCloud from when we were doing our podcasts when COVID hit. So that's just safe events.
Yep.
Safe events is on Instagram and Facebook as well. So it's just safe events.
Yeah.
So
just one word?
No, 2 words. Yep.
But what about on Instagram? What is it?
Safe Events BNE.
Is it safe dot events?
No,
so
just straight. Just straight.
BNE.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll put links in the bottom anyway. I don't know why I always ask people this. I ask people how to spell it and be real specific, and then I'm like, we're just gonna have like links in the bottom anyway. Like it's gonna be written. If you want to find it, just read it. That's how it's spelt. But it's good. Yeah. I don't know. It's just good to hear from other people about it. So
yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Check us out.
Definitely go check it out. I haven't been to any of the safe events yet, which is my bad, not you guys. So
you're gonna have to come.
Yeah, I might have to check out that this intimate one that
we've been looking for a long time for a place, and Sam's kind of found a little spot. So good, yeah. Hopefully we get something done soon.
Yeah,
so
cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming all the way down.
Cheers, bro.
From the coast and that.
That's all right. Anytime.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get out to that event. But
awesome.
Everyone out there, make sure you go check out all the safe events. Check out Koya Dubz, all his music, mixes. Check out that live stream. Is it still up somewhere?
That'll be up on. That's on Nomia's SoundCloud.
Oh, yep.
So that'll be.
Oh, that's the Elements.
I think you posted on Nomia Dubz DBS. Yep. So that's the Elements mix, and you'll be able to find it on SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud. YouTube under Nomia Media.
Yep. Yeah,
so
cool.
that's the video. So
awesome. All right, guys, make sure you like and subscribe, do all that cool shit. And thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
See you. Big ups.
Big ups, man.